Good morning and welcome back to Coffee Break. Today is my sister-in-law's first day of college.
Oh, congrats.
I'm so excited for her. It's been really fun to watch her prepare, get ready to move out, and be really excited for college level classes. I loved most of my classes, but I always struggled with doing the assigned reading.
I was the weirdo who honestly did do all of the
Okay.
readings and all of the, critical analyses and all of that stuff, because that was my favorite part of being an English major. I hated actually sitting down and writing the papers. I just liked reading and thinking about books. So that was
Interesting.
Yeah. So I actually did do that. That was my favorite part.
Well, good. That
Yeah.
means you can really contribute to today's discussion.
You're welcome.
Today's discussion is, by the way, part one of how to read critically. I feel like teachers often talk about reading critically because they really want to push you to there's all of these things in this text that you need to know. But I think that distracts us from the fact that even when you're not in school, reading critically is really important and really beneficial.
I think reading critically just gives you a better appreciation of the book. It really lets you get the most out of it, and that's how you enrich your life. That's the whole point of reading.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, it's fun to, read lazily and just kind of breeze through books and everything. But yeah, I think if you're looking to enrich your life and to become a better version of yourself through reading, that you kind of have to really dig into the text and figure out how you feel about it.
Yeah. So figuring out how to dig deeper into the text is a really big idea, discussion, whatever. So we thought we would do 2 episodes. So this is part 1 in how to read critically, and it's more like the basics, a place to start for probably a younger reader.
Or for someone who just hasn't really done much of it before and wants to dig into it.
Right.
I think the first step in really critically analyzing a text is to just ask questions. And not simple questions, not yes or no questions, but, why or if or how. Ones that require a deep answer and get you thinking about the text.
Yeah, so these can be things like, why did the main character choose to do such and such? Or how might the story have ended if it didn't end this way? A lot of these questions might just come from a teacher's handout, and that's a great place to start with reading critically.
Yeah, and if you're working with a younger reader, if you're a parent or teacher and everything, asking them questions or asking them to come up with their own questions, can be a good way to kind of get them thinking about the text.
Yeah. So, for example, if you're reading Nasruddin, either you're a young reader reading it to yourself or you're a parent reading it to your child, then you might come up with a question when you get into the book. So Nasruddin pretends to twist his ankle. So you might ask, why did he pretend to twist his ankle?
Why did he
Simple
want to feign an
question.
injury?
Yes. Another part of reading critically is noticing words that you don't know, or even just words that you've never really known exactly what they mean. You've heard them, but you don't really know. Sometimes if I come across a word that I'm unsure of, I'm just too into the story and I want to keep reading at first. I feel like I can get the gist of it. But a good thing to do is just make note of that word so that when you get to a good stopping spot or maybe the end of the book, then you can look it up later.
Yeah, and looking it up is a really great way to discover nuances, things that you might not have been able to determine from just the context alone.
Yeah, exactly.
Another cool thing to do is to make connections between the book and your life or other things that you've read or movies or TV shows that you've seen. What characters remind you of people that you've met before?
Or another character that you've read about.
Yeah, exactly. Or what would you do in this kind of situation? Making connections between the book and your own thoughts and memories and life is a really good way of familiarizing yourself with the text.
This might be something that you do already without even really noticing it. But the reading critically part is acknowledging the connections that you're making, maybe even writing them down. So, for instance, another great thing to do is to keep a reading journal. This journal can be really anything outside of the book. So you can write down those connections, you can write down new words that you've learned,
You can just write your thoughts about what you read that day, you
Yeah.
know? Like, what do you think the characters are going to do next, even before you finished it?
Mm-hmm. So you can write your own questions, you can write answers to your teacher's questions. So many possibilities for a journal.
Yeah.
If the book doesn't have pictures, you can sketch what you think the characters look like, or the settings, or rewrite your own descriptions for things going on in the book.
If you're still struggling with how to begin, even a lot of picture books will have discussion guides and supplementary materials. A lot of authors and publishers will have those available for free on their websites. So it's really easy to just go online and find these extra materials to help you get started.
Yeah, for instance, for Nasruddin, like we mentioned earlier, we have a downloadable discussion guide right on our website and blog. You can use as much or as little of this as you want, but it's a great place to start. We'll add a link to all of our free discussion guides below, and please feel free to comment with links to your favorite critical reading resources, and we'd love to check them out, and I'm sure other people would appreciate it as well.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining us. Stay tuned for part 2 of our How to Read Critically discussion.
However you decide to critically approach the text, happy reading.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Be like, don't need it.